Say we live.
I'm waiting on it to pop up. There we go. Yeah, we good.
We good, bro.
We good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Shalom. First off, we want to give our praises to
Yeah.
Yahweh,
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 Ba'ashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahawashi,
Ba'ashem,
Bahashem,
Rakatash.
Takwadash.
give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, the Ruler and Teach Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Desire Christian's truth and all honesty and sincerity. All right. We back at it again. All right. Prophesy against this placement. All right. The downfall of this kingdom, man. All right. So I'm going to get it started, man. Hey, let's get Jeremiah 28, verse 8.
I got it. Can you hear me, Yerama?
All right, you got it. You can bring it out.
God. This is Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
All right, thank you. So yeah, man. So the prophets that have been before us, all right, the prophets of old prophesied against many countries, all right, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilences, all right. So because the main prophets are the disciples, all right. There was around the Roman the time of the Romans, all right, in Rome. All right. Also, Asia Minor, all them surrounding cities. All right, that's where the prophets were set up to prophesy in those areas, man. All right, so look at it how how America is set up. How it's a country, it's one in whole, but you got different cities and towns. All right, same like back then in Rome, in ancient Rome. All right, so we back here again. All right, Lord willing, if we up that fold. But a lot of us was called to do this thing. So, so it's very highly that we are those men back through the regeneration, all right, prophesying once again, all right, against but right now, by the way of the internet, all right, the word is going out throughout the whole earth. All right, the scripture say, man, the gospel shall preach into the whole world, then the end shall come. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so that's playing out right now in real time, man. All right. So by way of the elders and apostles, the apostles and elders on down, this word is went out through the four corners of the earth, man. All right. So now we don't gotta hop on a plane or a boat to travel to this city and that city. You got men popping up all over the world prophesying, man. All right. And that is coming. The wars and pestilences. All right. Our Lord Yahweh Shai told us we'll hear of wars and rumors of wars in these last days. So that's what's going down, man. Brothers joked about, or not even joked, but wondered about, how the Henta virus came and went. But best believe, man, it's gonna be another thing that's gonna take its place, man. All
Yep.
right, when one pestilence go, another one gonna rise up. Want to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Con. Yeah, bros have anything?
Since you mentioned pestilence, you was mentioning because, like you said, the Hansa virus it just disappeared. You don't even hear nothing about it.
Yeah.
Since you were speaking on pestilence, I can grab this in Matthew 24. We'll go ahead and bring it out. It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Con. Yep. In diverse places, here and there. All right, it's gonna be scattered abroad. All right. You know, that what happened this year, man, with them viruses, them plagues, man. Hey, it didn't hit everywhere, but it hit certain pockets of the world. Right here, oh, it shut down a cruise ship. All right, so them plagues, man. Hey, it's just like with this gas thing. You see, it's going down, but you know, some people might see it and be like, oh, you know, yes, everything going back to normal. No, this is how the thing, how prophecy work, man. You know, sometimes it hit heavy. All right, that's why it's compared to, you know, a woman in travail, a woman giving birth. But sometimes the contractions they don't stay strong. Sometimes it loosen up. All right, but we know for sure it's gonna be one day, man. One day where shit gonna get bad and it's not gonna get better, man. Gas gonna super high, super skyrocket. All right, you know, inflation we're already feeling it now, but it's gonna get to a level where, hey, that pain, them contractions not gonna subside, man. All right, so hey, just because gas is like what 320, 319, hey, tomorrow, especially if you know the continuance of the Iran and Israel war, hey, it
Yeah.
ain't nothing for the oil to rise back up, man. All
Yep.
right,
Yep.
I got one to back
Yep.
y'all up.
see what?
I said I got one to back you up
All right, kind.
because we've been given a task, you know, as servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to warn the sheep. You know, that's why we, you know, do our videos. We go out on the highways and hedges. You know, we're warning of the impending danger. You know, they're setting up this a system to where you're going to be forced to receive an implant to be able to function within society. And you have other camps that know this and refuse to teach it because they've been bought and paid for. But there's a
Hmm.
judgment for that. This is Ezekiel chapter 33. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophet, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchmen, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Nah, you speak on that if you want to.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know the Lord brings it out plainly. You know, so we've been, and the people haven't taken us as a watchman. The Lord has ordained us to be watchmen. You know, and the Lord said, I have sent you forth as watchmen. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth, and give them warning from me. All right. So if you know this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know the dark sayings of the scriptures, and you know what the will of the Lord is as far as America is concerned, and you give the warning, that person's blood, if they hear it and don't take heed, their blood is upon their own heads. All right,
Hmm.
that's why the scriptures say if they hear, whether they hear or forbear, because the Lord even said that they're a rebellious house. The Lord said they will not hearken unto thee because they won't hearken unto me. But tell them anyway, and that's why we continue to go out. You know, people come up to us like, oh, you know, if you talked a little nicer, you would get people to listen. Well, we don't care if you listen or not. What we care about is getting your blood off of our hands because we know
Yep.
that none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. The elect are going to hearken. Just like we came into the truth, we heard, we didn't, you know, we didn't frown up at the fact that the apostles and the elder brothers and whatnot spoke harshly. Was it the truth? It was the truth. And we were still compelled to come in. So you got all these people that are more into the delivery of how we bring it out. You know, our tone toward women, our tone toward weak men. You know, they're more worried about the delivery, and that shows you a weak, effeminate spirit that's within America. You know, but the Lord has given us the task to whether they hear for a bear, give them that warning. You know, and that Ezekiel 33 backs that up perfectly because the whole chapter pretty much reiterates that.
Yup. And if I may add, ultimately, it's a trying of our faith. Like, look at our greatest example is the apostles, man. They was doing this thing when was hardly no fruit coming in, man.
Yep.
All right, so it's ultimately a trying of our faith. You know, we come across these people every day. They don't want to take heed. You know, mainly our people. They'll see us out here, and you know they'll probably salute like what's up. But they ain't really trying to take heed, man. They ain't trying to listen. So ultimately, we take the bitter with the sweet. But hey, man, ultimately, man, hey, we doing this to save ourselves, man.
Yep.
All right, whether they hear or forbear, man, we just come out here, do the work. We do what we was told. We obeying the Heavenly Father and the Son Yahweh Shai. All right, so that's what it's about, man. All right, we all
Yep.
understand 2/3 gonna be destroyed. We understand the heathen's gonna be destroyed. So right now, we just patiently waiting and enduring, man. All right, that's what
Yep.
it's all about right now in this point in time, man. We had them moments, man. We tried, to tell you hard headed Jake. All right, Hosea 4 and 6, man. Our people gonna be destroyed for you know uh, a lack of knowledge, man.
Yep.
All right, So hey, man, this thing is in phases, just like how I think it's Edges where how everything is broken up into parts. All right, so hey, man, we nearing the time of the end. So, and I also want that Matthew 24 again. You just can continue where you left off, man. All right,
Con.
because hey, man, hey, like how the scriptures say, man. Hey, man, hey, men of old, the prophets of old, all right, or the men of old, they desired to see the times that we in right now, man.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and also let's get it'll come back to me.
Con. If I could bring this out real quick and speak on it real quick.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
This is James chapter 1, verse 3, because you mentioned about the trying of our faith.
Yes.
It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work of patience, and the word patience means to suffer,
Yep. Yep.
you know. So, brothers is going through different things, but at the end of the day, it's to build our faith up. All
Exactly.
right. And backing up what you were saying earlier, yeah, we see, gas going down, but we stay on our watch. We
Yep.
can clearly see that it's about to skyrocket,
Mm-hmm.
because, the situation, not to, go too long, but you got the security, the head of security in Israel, Ben Gavir. This nigga, he's calling for the total destruction of Lebanon.
Mm.
Yep.
He said for every one Israeli that died, he said 1,000 Lebanese women. Well, he said every one Israeli woman that cry because she lost, a mother that cry. He said there should be 1,000 Lebanese women that cry. You
Mm.
know, so and it ain't even just BB. It's another guy that's running for prime minister. He said if he get in there, he's going to do worse to Iran than what BB's doing. And U.S. intelligence is saying that Israel is trying to overthrow the MOU, the memorandum of understanding. Which they signed electronically, but they were supposed to sign it today in person in Switzerland, but Iran canceled the flight. JD Vance canceled the flight because of what's going on in Lebanon. And
Mm.
reports are saying that Iran has closed the strait again. So we're about to see gas, you know, oil go back up, which is going to make gas go up.
Yep.
And that's making me think where it say, for when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them. Because people think that shit about to go back to normal. No, it's not. No, it's not. But that's it.
Yep.
I got that Matthew 24 for you.
Time. Hey, go ahead and get it, Isaiah, the least of the flock. Shall draw them out, man.
Con. It's in Jeremiah.
Like what the brother said, man. Hey, these sorrows, hey, all these things, man, they're not going anywhere, man. You know, like what the brother mentioned all the time, man. Hey, BB ain't gonna let this thing die out, man. All right, so hey, this thing gonna continue all the way to the end, Lord willing, man. This gonna be that catalyst, man. All right, well, it's already that catalyst. All right, to bring it in, because hey, Ezekiel 38 backed that up, man.
Yep.
About Russia gonna come to the guard of the Persians, who are the modern day Iranians, man. All right, so they keep on talking about a nuclear deal, a peace deal, and all this, man. All this gonna fall on deaf ears, man. All right, so that time is here, man. You got it, bro.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You said the least of the flock, right?
Yeah.
Con. This Jeremiah chapter 50,
Oh,
verse
Jeremiah.
45. It says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them."
Yeah, so
Mm.
they're gonna make the habitation desolate. So, and they got something called the Samson option. So if they plan
Mhm.
on go all the way through, they're gonna be like, fuck it, and destroy the whole region, man. But everybody said now they calling for the destruction of Lebanon. All right, they want all that area. They want the Gaza Strip. All right, they got the Greater Israel plan. All right, so hey, this devil tell you what he got on his program, man. What he got on his plate and what he want to what he want to get accomplished, man.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
you know. But while Jake, they worry about some damn Juneteenth, already know all this shit, man. Which even though we was free off the shackles, but you was never free altogether, man. All right, but they worry about some damn Juneteenth, and this devil showing you how he feel about you. All right, through Jake still getting gunned down and getting unjustly prosecuted in these courts. All right, so soon it's gonna give, and Jake gonna get tired of this shit, man. All right, and they're gonna become a terror, all right, to Egypt. That says the scriptures, man. All right, and people get mad. Well, I wouldn't say people get mad, but even that rapper Killer Mike, he's slowly coming to that conclusion. All right, soon a lot of Jakes all over the country gonna come to that conclusion, and it's gonna look bad for you Edomites, man. All right, but the least of the flock gonna draw America into this conflict, furthermore into it. All right, which they was mentioning, you know, well beforehand, a month or two prior, they wanted to do ground invasions and certain things. All right, but Trump, you know, he confused, like he trying to renege on the situation, but it's too far too late, man. Hey, you
Yep.
in it now, you in it, man. All
Yep.
right, you know. So hey, they in it now. Ain't no drawing out. All right, it's already known about the allegiance between our America and Israel. So hey, so Israel will bring them further into this conflict, man. It's gonna further bring their destruction, man. All according to prophecy,
Yep.
you know.
Kind. Hey, you on point, bro. If I can add real quick,
You got
you
it.
know, because the cat is out of the bag, but they're
Okay.
trying to backtrack. You got JD Vance. He called himself rebuking Israel. You got Trump. He called himself talking about how he can stop them from attacking Lebanon, saying that they respect him and they listen to what he tell them to do. And then you got, Tucker Carlson coming out, you know, talking about, yeah, Trump, he's not pretty much they trying to say he ain't controlled
Yeah,
and he's gonna leave, Israel on their own. No, they're not. As you just had me read, the least of the flock shall draw them out because Trump said he supports Israel defending themselves, and if they attack Iran, that he's still gonna help them. He's still subliminally letting it be known that he's gonna ride with them, man. And
Mhm.
if he really do get out of line, they'll take his ass out, man. Cause it came out, bro. It came out that the IDF was in the Pentagon, bro. Which we already knew this, but they starting to bring it out again. They was in the Pentagon calling shots, bro.
con
In
for
the in
real.
the bro, they was in the room where they got the screen and they're doing military plans and shit, bro. The IDF
Central
was in there
Command.
running shit, bro.
Yep. Yep.
The Israeli Defense Force, bro.
Yeah,
So we're seeing it in full effect. Like they're drawing America into this, and you can't get out. They're already in too deep. And Wikipedia then said that the war between the United States and Israel against Iran, they concluded it with a total Iranian victory. And
mm,
Iran has been popping shit. They said we slapped America.
yeah,
That's
Mm.
what they said, bro. So hey, their pride ain't about to allow them to just take that L, bro.
yeah, yeah. I believe America will Trump and them. I believe they shitting their jaws right now. You know, cause the Amalekites, they the ones at the top of their nation. So at the end of the day, they call the shot. So you
Yeah.
know, the ones that we see around here, man, they really not really with it, but hey, they gotta follow them orders. So when they relay them orders to Trump, man, it's all a go, man. They can't back out. It's over. Like we said, all it take is for them to get attacked, man. That's all it take, and they got it already set up to where that's why they try to get Europe and the UK all them to help because they do got certain treaties with one another about if they lands get attacked. They have to defend. I know you bros remember know what it is. All right, but that's all it take, man. And they're gonna be right along with them. All
Yep.
right, you know. But hey, but the mother is gonna hate the whore because they over there in the area in the region. They the ones that's gonna really have to deal with the repercussions of the and the retaliations of the other nations, such as
Yep.
Iran, Russia. You see Germany looking like they flipping sides. They
Yeah,
rely heavy
yeah. Hey,
on Russian oil and all this. So them resources gonna be the main things that's gonna make people flip. All right, when it be a lack thereof, man. Hey, man, you gonna see all kind of chaos breaking loose. It's like
and they go and they gonna go
Mad
after
Max.
Turkey.
You said what?
Said and they gonna go after Turkey, which is a NATO member.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, and like with a lot of these movies that speaks on some nuclear fallout or some shit behind a war that fucked the world up, it always was behind resources. And we know oil, well, 1 for 4, call law, you have my shot. So say like this oil can be they can use this as a main reason, all right, to cause discourse between the nations. What you seeing it, what they said, what Australia running out of reserves, running out of oil. All right, so these resources in the world, all right, they can use this to cause nations to bend their knee to whatever they bid to happen. All right, that's when new alliances gonna form, new countries gonna join BRICS. All right, it's gonna be all kind of things, man. All right, and that's why we say all these prophecies tie hand in hand. All right, so the economical collapse throughout the whole earth, that's gonna play in ushering the third woe. All right, a lot of things gonna go down, and these people not ready, man. All right, people, that's why they give us bread and circus. All right, what the NBA finals just passed, well, that shit was rigged to hell. All right, so a NFL season, college football about to start. So these people just gonna be blinded all the way through and through. All right, but you do got some people that do see what's going down. All right, some of these Edomites, but like the brother said, man, they pride, man, they not gonna, they ain't gonna accept the L, man. All right, but the L is inevitable. All right, there's no avoiding it, man.
The L is inevitable. Ooh.
Yeah. It's written and stamped by the Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the Lord
And
has
there's a
spoken it.
yep. And I was gonna say there's a heavy spirit of war in the earth right now because the whole Iran deal that's taking front and center stage, but Iran, I'm not Iran, Ukraine just launched a massive drone strike deep inside Russia,
Hmm.
destroying oil refineries and stuff like that. And then you got the I believe the president of South Korea is saying now it's time for America to come to the table and talk about North Korea's nuclear program, which North Korea already has nukes, so like good luck with that shit. And the world has already seen, and America is intertwined with every one of those conflicts, but how they're handling Iran, America's adversaries are knowing that they're weak because Iran isn't isn't even if they have nukes, they're not necessarily like the nuclear power that they're super concerned about. They're more concerned about Russia and China, but Russia and China is sitting back watching how America plays this. We've been saying through the spirit, their diplomacy has gone fully out the window. They're not even trying to hide. Hell, even the when they did that whole bombing the nuclear sites back during last summer, what did they do? They had America delegation meet with Iranian delegation, and then they went and bombed them anyway. So why would the Russians trust them? Why would the Chinese trust them? They don't
Yeah.
trust them. America's lost its credibility on the world stage, and see, America's still focused on keeping its hegemony on the earth. It doesn't even know that it's already lost it. That its enemies have already linked up,
Yeah.
against it. And even with Trump, I mean, even with Vance talking about, they putting Israel in the hot seat because even they're acknowledging you're isolating us from the entire world with your actions, and
Yeah.
that's prophecy. The Lord is making them do that. It was going to be America and Israel standing alone in the end. And hey, funny enough, those are the two lands that the Lord said He's going to utterly destroy. So we seeing prophecy playing out right in front of everybody's faces, man.
Huh.
Well said, bro.
Yeah, I was holding
Let's go
Joel the
back to
third
that.
chapter as well.
Yeah, let's go back to that Matthew 24.
Khan. And the brother said he holding Joel as well.
So what now?
I said Khan, and the brother said he holding Joel as well.
Con. But matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 50. We started verse 29. Well, we started
I got it.
we started like verse 25.
Gone. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25. The Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans.
Yeah, so Lord ultimately being the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, hey, he opened up that army basically, hey, he just saying, hey, it's time to go all out war, it's go time, man. All right. You know, and he going, he brought forth the weapons of his indignation, his righteous anger. And when you think about the scripture, all right, in Isaiah would say he blow off the smith with coals. He if a brother can get that real quick, I don't want to misquote it.
Yeah, he
Khan.
uh
He
create he
created the
created the
smith that blow
smith
off the
that bloweth the
coals.
coals. He created a
Yeah,
waster to destroy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So he already got it already set up, man. All right, hey, these countries, especially Russia, keep up coming up with new type of missiles and all these different things. So the groundwork already set. All right, it's already set in stone and it's already coming to a head. All right, with this third woe. All right, so it says, for this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans, land of the heathen. All
Yep.
right, so the Lord is bringing this thing. All right, that's why they tried to say a while back, talking about they bringing Armageddon, or what they say, they bringing the Lord back. Cause they know through this battle, through this war, the Lord is coming back in the midst of it. All right, but they trying to make how this devil do. He try to uh uh you know control the narrative. All right, he don't want to make it seem like he the bad guy. It's why he throwing all matters of confusion out there. All right, but you got it, bro.
Hey, and can't forget, he's still gonna somehow find a way to blame Jake on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, verse 26. It says, "Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left.
Yeah.
Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation."
Yeah. So mainly, this place gonna be visited, man.
Mm.
All right. This place gonna be visited by the missiles. All right. Violence gonna sweep the land. All right. So this place gonna be visited. All right. Slay all her bullocks. All right, because through this third woe, hey man, hey, these young men gonna be gonna go to the slaughter, man. All right, once they go over there, scripture say they ain't gonna it's gonna be no place to return. All right, once they go to this third woe, they're gonna die over there, and ultimately, in the same breath, Babylon, gonna be destroyed through them ICBMs, thermonuclear destruction. So say even if they was to survive, it's gonna be nothing to come back to.
Mm.
All right. So even gonna come from against her from the utmost border. All right. You know, and open her storehouses. All right. So you know it's gonna be like these missiles just gonna creep up on this place. Or the destruction gonna creep up. All right, everything gonna get burnt to the elements.
Yep.
All right, it's gonna be left like a heap, a pile of ash. You know, the Lord said He's gonna turn this place to a desert, man. All right, it's
Yep.
gonna be nothing left. The storehouse, everything gonna be gone, man. Hey, see how you got Walmart and all this other shit, man? There ain't gonna be none of this left, man. All right, none of this gonna be recognizable no more, man. All right, all this shit you see gonna be gone, man.
Yep.
All right, you got it, bro.
Time. Verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel.
Yeah, so this place proud as hell, man. With Esau, you know, you can see it now, man. These devils proud as hell, man. They don't think they ever gonna go out of power, man. All right, and you got what make it even worse, man. You got niggas that support this, man. What's that dude name? On YouTube, basically he had a whole shirt. He had like the 250th anniversary, and he said he wished it another 250 years. So on YouTube,
Man,
you gotta
hell
know, like
no.
Jake wishing another 250 years in captivity, man. They done lost their rabbit ass mind, man.
For real.
All right. So yeah, so this place proud as hell, man. So the archers gonna come around about Babylon, or they gonna recompense, according to her work. All right. So what this place dished out, it's gonna receive back tenfold. Because America, they love dropping missiles and bombs on people, drone striking. So all that shit gonna come back. That's why Iran not gonna let up, man. All right, they chant DTA, man. All
Yep.
right, so they ain't gonna let up, man. You know, ain't nothing they can do. That's why Trump tried to spin the narrative, talking about some, oh yeah, we about to come to an agreement. Man, they ain't gonna agree with nothing, man. Cause they already know how you devils get down, man. You know, these devils gonna keep trying to spin the narrative. They always act like they the good guy. Oh, they the ones bringing peace. Nah, man. Ever since this devil got in power, man, peace never been on the earth, man. Even this place, man, in 250 years, this place never knew peace. Man, America was always in something or had their hand in something. That's why people say they never keep at home, man.
Yep.
This devil a busybody, man. All right, you got it, bro.
Yep. Verse 30, it says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord.
Mm.
Yeah, so the young men gonna fall in the streets, man. And all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, said the Lord. So, hey, man, they gonna take serious losses, man. So, what they gonna recruit women? And there was a article. All right, I think Dabu spoke on it. I saw the brother in Kansas spoke on it. They preparing robot troops. So hey, man, it gonna come to a point they gonna use robot troops. But first they gonna use the men, man. All right, but they're gonna take serious losses and serious casualties. They're gonna resort to their technology, which really that's what they really want to use in the first place. And there was a game that came out, where certain people was getting augmentated and turned like say if they was missing limbs, They'll get them turned robotically, and then they'll just ship their ass out into the battlefield. So say if the people that's injured, they probably gonna fix your ass up, transhumanize your ass, and send
Mm,
your ass right back out there. Like
damn.
get back in the game, you know. But yeah, man. So the young men gonna fall in the street. So they show you, man. Even in the on the land, shit gonna go down. Hey, we might even get attacked. We already know. Certain events can happen on this land. I ain't gonna go too deep into it. You know, but you know, so certain things like certain attacks from the other nations can happen over here. But also, it can be a full out invasion. You know, which the Tom Clancy wrote books about it and movies uh go into it briefly. All right, what's that movie Red Dawn? They had two different versions. They had one with the Russians invading. All right, and what happened in that movie, the first Red Dawn, that it played out exactly how Tom Clancy had it written in his book that if the Russians was to invade, they'll come through basically come through Alaska, come through the top up region over Canada. Is that Antarctica? I believe Antarctica up there above Canada,
Alaska,
Alaska.
Con.
What's above Canada?
the Arctic Circle.
Oh yeah, they're saying
Oh,
they'll come through
okay.
that way.
Yeah, you're talking
They used
about.
to the cold weather. All right, and then the second Red Dawn, the remake, you had I don't know if it was the Koreans or was it the Chinese soldiers. It was one of them too. But ironically, those are not only part of the big three of the top superpowers, but they also America's top enemies, top threats. All right, and I was watching a little bit of that video. One of the elders from Birmingham and Elder Yashawamba. All right, and they were saying that these heathens they ultimately fighting for not. It's vain even in them trying to make war because they trying to make position of who got next. Who gonna be number two, number three, rearrange the order. But it's all for nothing because neither of them gonna win, man.
Yeah.
All this going down so we can rise back into power, man. All right.
Yep.
So it's over for these people, man. You know. But you
Mm-hmm.
say you got something, bro?
I got that Matthew 24 still.
Yeah. The dog got something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you had the Joel.
it's still some meat on this bone, brother.
All right.
And in Jeremiah 50, I'm gonna get a couple more verses. Verse 31, it says, "Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord power of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee." And think about it. This was written thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And now that we're in a time where the fulfillment of that is coming to pass, where the Lord is truly about to visit Esau for everything that he's done. We're living in that time, you know. He's not about to get a second win other than to attempt to set up this NWO and fail miserably at it. But all of that is the fulfillment of prophecy and the end of his kingdom.
All right.
But I had Joel the third chapter.
Oh yeah, con.
I'm gonna start at verse 9. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war." See, all the nations are preparing war right now. Russia,
Yep.
Ukraine, China, Taiwan, South Korea, North Korea, Iran, Israel, Turkey, Syria. Who else? Hell, Pakistan and India be about to get into it. You know, all these nations are preparing war. This is a command from the Lord.
Con.
So it says, "Prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong."
Con.
Let me keep
Yeah,
going.
all these nations is preparing for war. And what was it a while back where I think was it Trump that said for these car automotive industries to prepare to make military equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh
know, that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
form of it, man. To where when war, not only you know, war can bring a false sense of mainly manufacturing companies booming, and that I believe that's what happened. I think during World War II, and that would allow women to start uh, coming
Into the
into the
workforce.
workplace real heavy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because they needed more manpower or woman power, whatever the case may be. All right, to enter these certain infrastructures. You know, whether the case, I gotta look into it what it was actually making. You know, like say like in the time of war, you need bullets to be made, certain parts for like tanks and Humvees and shit. You know, convoy vehicles. So in a way, they make it feel like it's a full ditch effort for everybody to come together around wartime. So, you know, so in this time they're gonna be like, to hell with agriculture, to hell with, certain things. They're like, oh, it's wartime. We need people, to pull their part, to do their part. All right. And that's another way, Esau can be, will cut certain shit out the way and go fully digital, or say, with the crops not coming in as heavy. So he'd be like, you know what? This is not gonna be an area that we focus on. We don't need to do that no more. We got this 3D printed shit, this 3D printed food. So he can make certain cuts. It's like making like what basically what he's saying is, use it as a way of, oh, we can make certain budget cuts. We can stop doing this and focus on this. All right, you know, and they got the right guy in office. With Trump, a so-called businessman, all right, which you know, or you got certain business-minded people in power, all right. So they gonna like what they did with the Doge thing, all right. When Elon was in that thing, looking into where the money was going into, because in these last days it is gonna be major budget cuts, man. All right, even in the scripture says, man, the time we coming into, all right, they gonna even get the people that keep the infrastructure looking nice. All right, so when no budget cuts come in, they cutting a lot of shit, man,
Hey, they
and
about
it's
to
gonna
cut
resonate.
social security.
Oh
They
yeah,
Oh
they
yeah,
they
yeah,
you met the bro. See that they got that nigga
yeah.
Mike Johnson. All right, he's the Speaker of the House. All right, so he's like third behind. So if like Trump died and Vance died, he would become president. Like that's the line of succession. The Speaker of the House is like next in line. And he came out and said they're going to cut Social Security. But here's the thing: Social Security doesn't come out of it doesn't come from the government necessarily. They divvy it out. It comes out of your checks. All
yeah,
right,
Yep.
when you get that shit comes from the American citizens, and they're telling them that you're not about to get any benefits from that. That's an example.
Mm.
But hell, they just passed a 1.5 trillion dollar budget, which is the most they've ever done in a single year, to merge the U.S. and Israeli military. It don't matter where they stand as far as politically anymore. They have merged the military officially in the open with the Israelis, bro. This is
yeah,
not. This isn't no conspiracy. This is you look the shit up, and the American military is completely tethered to the Israeli military. This is not a.
Yep.
This is not a joke. This isn't a pun. This is real. And then you got Israel. Clearly, they can't stop fighting. They can't stop
Nope.
wanting to take everybody out. So where does that put America?
Yeah.
Hey, it's the signs of the time. This is the catalyst for the end, man. This is
Hey,
it.
if I can add, because that's why the Lord said His word shall not return unto Him void, because it's all playing out.
Mm.
They can't stop it now. Like, the militaries emerged, and the Lord got a heavy spirit on them tiny tops to want to keep the war going.
yeah,
Which, of course, BB, if the war fully ended, BB would go to prison.
yeah,
He would face corruption charges, but it's a lot of people in his cabinet that wants to keep the war going. And even if BB was to get put out of office, the guy that's running to be prime minister, he said he's going to do worse to Iran than what BB did. He's disappointed at how BB handled it.
Mm.
You know, he was on an interview with what's that dude? What's that British dude, bro? That Edomite dude, Pierre Morgan.
Piers
Pierre
Morgan.
Morgan.
Pierce
Yeah, he
Morgan.
was on the interview with him, and he was popping big shit. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put hot hell on Iran if I get in there." So
Dang.
The Lord has fully set this up, bro,
Yeah,
and there's no way out of it. Like the
yeah,
Lord, He's not a power that He should lie. So they're in too deep. And what Trump and JD Vance is doing, calling themselves calling out Israel and making it seem like they about to cut them off, that's just a show for the American people.
yeah,
All right, they're just deceiving the American people to have them think like we're America first. We're on your side. And
yeah,
they have to do that because we know the time is going to come where they're going to send these motherfuckers to go fight. Remember, they said it automatically goes into effect in December, but we know it's going to be before that. Where they're
yeah,
talking about you automatically going to be drafted. You automatically going to be enlisted if you in that age range. So they already got everything ready. It's just a matter of at this point it's just a matter of time, when the Lord going to pull that trigger.
yep, yep. It's the inevitable, man. Like what y'all saying, man. They're their military's tied, so they basically won them. So whatever they do, that
Oh
that's a
shit.
that's a bad look on the people here.
Yeah.
They basically, hey, they yoked together fully now. All
Yep.
right. Ultimately, like what you said, man, about that draft thing and the spirit on the people already. They already know what's up. They saying, "Oh, I don't want to fight for Israel," but it's too late. A lot of these people that's gonna be recruited, they getting recruited just to fight for Israel and nothing more, nothing less. That's what this all about. The to defend Israel, all right, and for them to keep their kingdom. Like what I said, man, it's all about these Amalekites, man. They don't give a damn about you lesser Edomites. They be like, oh, you gonna you gonna be a meat shield for Israel, man. That's all. Where they look at. That's why they call y'all goyim, all kind of shit. But that's what's gonna happen. These Edomites gonna realize, you like, damn, like even in slavery times, man. You know, they even got a small piece of the pie on that, but they still had a chance to rule. But that was a small piece of the pie of what the elites fully got. All right, so even within that, man, these devils gonna realize, man, hey, they really ain't hitting on nothing, man. You know, all that's being revealed, man. All right,
Mhm.
so you can't read that in Job again. I mean, Joel again.
Time. Verse 9 again, it says, proclaim me this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat
Yeah,
your
so we
plowshares. Oh,
proclaiming
so like
this. Yeah, we proclaiming this among the Gentile, man. You know, and I remember coming up, man. You know, the Edomites are old, man. They love war, man. That's all you see. You had Spike TV, which is like a manly channel. All they showing is war movies, and they had fights on there. Man, that was the place to go to, man. You know. So what?
Oh, so like I was checking the live. That was a
Oh,
live.
Slakia. So yeah, man. But you can feel that spirit coming back, and they trying to push that spirit on Esau. You know, that's what Trump. One of the things that he doing. All right, he trying to bring that spirit of we taking the country back. oh, they trying to put blocks on watching, corn. All right, 444. Call all you. How about you now, shot? All right, he putting certain blocks on certain things, and now the whole cell phone ban, or whatever they want to call it. The now you can sue these tech companies, or these social media sites, trying to say, oh, you can sue them if your child been basically messed up behind these social media sites, whether that's true or false. But he trying to give these Edomites a false sense of, yeah, he making it better again, that MAGA bull crap. All right, so they being greatly deceived, man, because the damage already done, man. All
Yeah.
right. So they trying to wake that mighty man back up, man.
See,
We don't rent through the whole DEI phase. All right, the DEI phase done. That was just set up to bring, you
mhm.
know, to make it weak. All right, so now we in a time where they trying to. All right, we had that time. It did what it needed to do. All right, it made wickedness flourish even more. So now they trying to wake that mighty man back up. All right, no poke that bear. All right, you know.
But see, they don't have a sense. America doesn't have that sense of nationalism that's not based on just utter fucking racism. Like
Yeah,
think about it. These Edomite, these young. I now when I think about a Edomite male in his 20s, I just think about chud. All these
yeah,
niggas are chuds internally. They want to poke the bear. They see they really mad. They don't get to abuse us like their ancestors got to abuse us, which their forefathers coming back. But they're
yeah,
sitting here with all the privilege and shit, but they don't get to physically put us in shackles.
yeah,
What makes them different from all these other nations of men? Think about it. The young Russian men are they have a sense of nationalism within their country to preserve Russia. China
yeah,
the same with China. But America, what are they fighting to preserve exactly? Racism.
yeah, yeah,
Esau having his foot on everybody's neck, and that's not something you can stand on this point because the same systems that Esau set up to make all the rest of the men emasculate, it emasculated his own men. He's
yeah,
getting exposed as a damn cuck. He's getting exposed. Like, look at Pete Hegseth. That nigga don't look like the. So he doesn't, even though, yeah, we know he served. Think about it. He's still trying to come in this bravado, like white male pride shit, and nobody's buying that shit no more, man.
yeah,
The only Edomites that are really necessarily macho at this point are the Russians. But they're not over here. They're America's number one adversary. Here it is. The Lord has set up Esau against Esau, and it's really the weak versus the strong. Because these Americans are weak, man. They got the jarhead niggas that's in the military still. But going back to what Bros was speaking on as far as the draft, when they enact this draft, yeah, it's gonna be Jakes that get sent off to war, but it's gonna be these 18 to 25-year-old Edomite males, and they're just weak, man. If they're not physically weak, then they're mentally fucking weak because they've been benefactors of the right of what they put us through, what their forefathers put us through, man, and we see it. But these motherfuckers are weak, and even they women are saying that they're weak, man.
Yeah.
These women want a man that has been through the fire, that's been through some type of adversity. These motherfuckers have never been through any type of adversity. They only with these Edomite men because of the status, because he in the power seat. But they know these are not masculine men, and that's exactly who the
Exactly.
Lord is about to go send to fight and ultimately lose, man. But Salaki, just
Exactly.
wanted to add that.
Hey, it's at the point where it's so bad. Esau got to make AI videos of Edomite women saying they don't like Jake men. That's how bad it is. I'm hearing like a static noise.
Yeah, I'm hearing it
yeah.
too.
Me too. Yeah, it might
Okay,
be
I
your
think.
mic. I mean, not your mic, your headphones.
Is it me?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on. Oh wow.
What happened?
I still hear it even when I mute myself.
Yeah, let me mute myself.
All right, I don't hear it no more.
Yeah, it went away. It's on your end, Shakam.
I just heard it on your end, I think. Hey, Shakam, you froze?
No, I was muted the whole time. I still heard it a little bit.
Are you got it, bro?
Con.
No,
Back
what you
in
saying,
Joel the
Shakam?
third. Oh, Salaki.
No, what Shakam said?
Oh, nah, I was just saying, pretty much, it's at the point where Esau gotta make AI videos of his women saying they don't like Jake. Cause Esau got Jake on the mind more than anything. It's so bad to where his women is doing videos talking about how they men can't stop thinking about Jake being with they women. It's over for this nigga. But yeah, I'm hearing it, man. I'm gonna mute my mic. Let's see if it go away.
All right,
Me too.
Shakam. But yeah, you continuing, Joel.
Con. Back in Joel chapter 3. In verse 10 again, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves
Yeah,
and
so
come.
so the weak is about to say they're strong. All these nations, hey man, they preparing for war, man. That's one of their main focuses. All right, with the Iranians, all right, and certain Ham even making their position. All right, Moab, you know, they making their position. They having military parades and whatnot. All right, we saw Iran, they little thing they made. All right, so these nations they fully with it, man. And the ones that's selling on their leads and thinking shit sweet is Babylonians, man. You know, you got people in which we understand it's just a product of this devil. All right, they just relying heavily on their technology. You hear the devil talking about some, oh, we can't be defeated, this and that, niggas. Do you know that this place is so overly comfortable and relying on its power that it don't even see the weaknesses. All right, how the scripture say that this is the unwalled city. All right, it ain't gonna take nothing to bring this place down, man. But people too caught up into the glory of old with World War I and II. All right, you know, but them glory days over, man. All right, you got it, bro.
Yep. Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Yep. So these nations about to be assembled in the valley of Yahweh Shabbat, man. Or the Lord's judgment, the Lord's decision, man.
Like when David overcame the forces of the Amalekites. You know, like that.
This little space, you know what I'm saying? What you said?
Like when David overcame the Amalekites.
Yeah.
Saved his family.
Yeah.
Took over the kingdom of Israel. So that he could show God's light. Because Saul had strayed.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think it might be
You
your
heard it?
headphones, Dawada.
You said what?
I was saying I think it might be Dawada headphones.
I don't know. That dude might be an Israelite though. I see the
Mm.
leaves and stuff. Esau don't really wear stuff like that. But what he said how David overcame the Amalekites, and he said something about, I forgot what he said about Saul, but y'all said he could be Israelite, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just to speak on what he said. Yeah, so it was a time where we went to war with Amalek, or which right now we don't really have to do so. You know, the Lord already got it set up through prophecy, you know, that Amalek, they, even though we are their number one issue, what their number one problem, just like that lady said in that whatever meeting they had, already said they worried about, you know, they what they said, the blacks in America. But we don't got no army. I mean, we do, you know, the heavenly host. But you know, that's pretty much what she referring to, because they know Yahweh Shai is coming back for the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native American man, woman, and child over here. All right, so you know, so yeah, we about to overcome Amalek again, man. But it's ultimately through our Lord coming back to redeem us, man. All right, you
Yep.
know, like we ain't gonna take, you know, the glory in our own hands, you know.
Con.
But so these nations about to be assembled and gathered, man, to it's really what, East Asia. No, wait, no, West Asia. All right, but they call it the Middle East. All right, so all the nations about to be gathered over there to do war once more, man. All right, and this time we coming in, man. We, hey, as say in Ecclesiastes, man, it's a time and place for everything. It's time for war and it's time for peace. It's a time for war and a time for peace. And we clearly not in a time of peace, man. You know, it's a time of war that we entering into. All right. But people too stuck in their bubbles, all right, that they feel like, you know, they comfortable. All right. They too stuck in their bubble to where, you know, they really can't see what's really coming down the pipe, man.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, man, we're in a time of war, and you know it's going to, you know, wax more and more the further we get closer to the end. And this Karagma is here, man. They talking about what we've been saying it, man. A lot of this has come out. We already been saying for years. We've been said they're gonna give these prisoners this seal, the shorten their sentence. We've been saying it, man.
Yep.
They using them as a test run. All right, they don't use prisoners, the homeless. All right, chip your kid, Karagma your kid. You know, because a lot of kids, and that's why they said with the phone being all for the kids. So they say, oh, get your kid. They've been saying that. Oh, first it was the animal, the house pet. All right, now see hip your kid so they don't get kidnapped. Then they gonna want your ass to take a see hip. All right, for your medical records, because a lot of these people messed up, man. No, yeah, we not perfect. There's some brothers in this truth that have certain ailments, but hey, you Babylonians, man, y'all straight through, man. When that collapse happened, hey, y'all ain't getting y'all meds and all this, man. Y'all gonna be through, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
Like it
all I
says in
got on
Isaiah
that.
24, the city of confusion is broken down.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
it went away. The static went away.
Con.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's all you
And
wanted,
and I'm
Joel.
a
You want to
hey,
continue?
uh yeah, that was the point. The Lord's
All right,
gathering
Con.
these nations. And he's doing it actively, man. Like this is beautiful to
Yep.
see. This boosts our faith, man. You know, because hey,
Yep.
many prophets and righteous men desired to see the things which we see. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they were waiting. Everybody, all the prophets of old were waiting on this time right here. They understood the concept of regeneration, of coming back. And Yahweh Shai even told Peter when he asked him, he said, Lord, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? It says, ye which follow me in the regeneration. So he just
Yeah.
told him straight up, you're going to have to die. You're going to have to come back. So these men came back and stood in their light. You know, like the Lord told Daniel, stand now in thy light, you know, in the end of days. You know, Daniel then came back. The prophets of old have come back. And we're seeing what the Lord has always set forth from the beginning, and that's the fall of this damn devil, man. This is the last heathen empire that's going to rule. We're seeing, and we at the 250 mark, and the fact they're emphasizing it so hard, that's how we know it's a wrap. And then if bro saw that they turned on CERN, they turned the biggest hydrogen, what they call it, the hydrogen collider I forgot the
Mm.
actual term for it, but they have them spread out. They don't just have one. And they said they turned on their largest one the last couple weeks, and they said it's been shit coming in and out of the damn CERN portal, and it'll come out and it'll go back in, and then it'll go out and it'll stay out. It won't go back in. So they're starting to introduce, they're calling it on TikTok the thinning of the veil, and the Lord, and it speaks about that in, I believe, second is the sixth chapter, or it might not be second Ezra 6, where it speaks about one realm against another, you know, where the Lord is going to allow the spirit world to direct influence. It's already directly influencing it. Now it's going to be in the open. They made movies on this. What was that? Bird Box and shit. You know, they see the demons and they fucking die. All right, people
Yeah.
aren't ready for that. That you got all these preppers and shit that are prepping for a physical, situation where there's going to be a shortage of food, which those things are going to happen. But the Lord said this is going to be a time of trouble like nothing else. Think
Yep.
about all the heinous ass things that have happened on the earth. The Lord said this is about to outdo that. I'm about to outdo that. So not only you're going to see perils in the physical, but you're going to see the spiritual come and affect the physical, man. You're going to see demons. Hey, angels on the right hand side might manifest themselves. People aren't ready for what's about to go down, but the Lord has been preparing the mind of his men for this very thing, man. We don't know exactly, we can't prepare physically enough for what the Lord is about to, send us through. All he tells us to do is to rely on him, to trust on him, like we've been doing. But these people, they don't have any fucking idea how bad how it's really about to get, man. It's about to get bad.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people
Yeah.
that have not missed a fucking meal, man, ever in their life. We ain't talking about Jake that grew up in the damn hood, grew up in the barrios, had to eat the fucking sugar sandwiches and shit like that. No, we're talking about Esau, that the mass majority of these people that have never felt an empty stomach, that have never been told no. They're about to be thrown in
Yeah.
the mix with everybody else,
Yep.
and that whole survival of the fittest shit really about to kick into play. And if you don't have the Lord protecting you, you out here, you a sheep without a shepherd out here, man.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody gonna be on the same playing field because Esau, he gonna forsake. Damn it! It came back. Esau gonna forsake
Let me
these
mute.
celebrities, man. Esau don't give a damn about these celebs. Damn, it must be on my shit.
It's them tiny tots, man.
Yeah, cause I was muted and it's still going crazy. So
And
it's
I'm
just
muted
Satan,
too.
man. It's Satan. But yeah, everybody gonna be on the same playing field. God dang. you know,
They sending Morse code through this motherfucker.
yeah. Cause the scriptures say, like, to add on what you were saying, there's never been a time like this, nor shall there ever be. So the Lord, this is the last time where the Most High is going to bring a worldwide judgment. That's why it's called the second death. So the Most High, He's going to go all out with it, you know. But I still got that Matthew 24 for you, bro.
All right, you got it, bro.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Yeah. So all these is coming. But matter of fact, read verse 6 and 7.
This Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Did you hear me read it?
But not verse 7.
Oh, you said 6 and 7? I thought you said start
Yeah.
at verse 6.
Oh,
Okay.
Slocky, yeah, my bad. I said verse 6 and 7. But
Verse.
so on verse 6, so we're gonna hear of wars and rumors of wars. So we're not troubled, Lord willing, through the spirit. But the Lord said He gave us not a spirit of fear. All right, so it's no need for us to be afraid of what's about to come. All right, because we know that this is according to prophecy. This is according to the plan. All right, for us to rise back into power, man. You know, and you know, so yeah, so the end. You know, all these things must come, but the end is not yet. So prophecy got to play out. All right, but you know, it's staring towards the end, but the end is not yet. Of us hearing of these wars and rumors of wars, it's inching close to the end, but it's not yet, man. The Lord just letting us know the outliers and what to look out for, you know, so we don't so the day of the Lord don't hit us as a thief in the night because we on our watch. All right, Habakkuk 2. All right, gotta be on that watchtower, man. All right, you know, but you got it, bro.
Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah. So nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so these places are against one another. All right, nations, you know, trying to make war with other nations. We know those nations. All right, you know, Iran, Israel, you know, hey, soon Moab, you know, China gonna get involved. All right, Russia gonna get involved. All right, but they already involved, but they just not directly. All right, it's through proxy or through, you know, helping, you know, out in certain areas or backing Iran. All right, so we hearing to that, you know, and famines, you know, pestilences, you know, earthquakes, you know, all over. All right, so you know, these are the things that the Lord, you know, told us to look out for. That's going to happen in these last days, man. All right, earthquakes are more prevalent than ever. All right, they're happening everywhere. All right, and what mainly causes earthquakes, all right, is through what is called fracking. All right, to where these oil refineries are these oil things it extract the oil out of the earth, and that what caused the earthquakes, man. They taking, you know, it's almost like oil is like the blood of the earth. All right, so it's like they taking the blood out of the earth, all right, which is the oil, and it's causing the earth to cramp up and lock up, so that the plates, it's like bones rubbing together. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's causing the tectonic plates to. It's nothing restricting the tectonic plates from rubbing together because that oil is not in there. All right, so that's what causing these earthquakes, man. And that further shows you that we at the end, man. Because there was never a time in the world where, you know, it was a nation that was just destroying the earth to this point to where it's causing all our hell to break loose, man. Like even certain things that this devil doing is causing these pestilences. You know, certain things this devil doing is causing these famines. And the Lord allowing this devil to do it. That's why we say whatever this devil come out with or whatever this devil start, it was the will of the Lord for this devil to bring it. Because the Lord said, you know, the Esau is his sword pretty much. All right? The Lord is using Esau as a way to bring judgment into the world, man. That's why he's going to get his last hurrah.
Dang, it's just lag, bro. Can you hear me, Double?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it just lagged, bro, out or something.
Oh, there we go.
You
Can y'all hear
back?
me?
It like lagged you out, but your screen is black. Let me check the live. Yeah, your screen black, bro. What? I don't know what happened. We can't hear you no more. Oh damn! It kicked him. Hold on. See if I can bring him back. Yeah, he left. I think he gonna click that link again, and I'll just put him back.
Con.
Can you hear me, Double?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Damn, I can't even hear you. You got your mic muted?
Nah. Can you hear me?
Why can't I hear you? I can't hear you.
Damn.
Hold on.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Damn, I don't know what happened, bro. I can't even hear you, bro. Can you hear me? Can you do
Can't
this
hear
if you
me?
can hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you do this if you can hear me? I can hear you. Oh, so I can hear
I can hear
you
you.
when I look at the video. We can hear you on the live stream, but I can't hear you like through the phone.
That's insane.
Yeah, this Satan. I'm looking at the live stream so I can hear you. I can't hear you through my phone anymore. I'm
I'm
gonna leave my
I'm gonna
mic
leave and
muted.
come back in.
I see your Rumler back. Can you hear us, your Rumler?
Yeah, but I guess after this we just close out. But yeah, man. So this
I
devil,
think you might be good, though. It might just be my end. Cause I
All
hear
right.
you on the live, like I'm looking at the video, the live. I can hear you,
Con.
but I can't, like on my phone, I can't hear you or your Rumler.
Damn.
oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But we
And
can't
I
hear
can't leave and come back because I'm the host of it.
Shakan can't hear us though.
So I guess
I can hear both of y'all. But yeah, we just finished this up. We can just close out. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you got it, bro.
What were we on? Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew 24. Con. What verse were we on?
Uh, verse 8.
Verse 8. You want me to keep going on that?
Yeah.
Con. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 8 again, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. It
Yeah. So
says,
all
then shall they
these.
deliver you up. My bad.
Yeah. So all these is the beginning of sorrows, man. All right. You know, this is just the beginning, man. The, the full shebang I haven't even went down yet. Oh, it's motorcycles over here, man. Oh, that's motorcycles. Yeah, so all these just the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, so us hearing the wars and rumors of wars, these earthquakes, famines, and pestilence, because we hearing these things on a constant, everyday basis, man. All right, so this is just the beginning, man. So when the full deal go down, all right, it's gonna be up and it's stuck. All right, when the third woe go down, hey, man, it's pretty much over with at that point, man. Because famine gonna be at an all-time high. You know, pestilences, sicknesses, gonna be at an all-time high. All right. Even earthquakes probably gonna get more than likely get way more stronger, man. You know, California always talking about that big one. So you never know what's gonna happen, man. You know, Yellowstone can erupt, all kind of things. All right. Let's jump down to verse 13, read 13 and 14.
Gone.
Down to
Verse 13 it says, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this
yeah,
gospel
so
of the kingdom shall be preached." I was like it, brother.
oh, you got it, bro. My bad.
Yeah, verse 14 it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come."
Yeah, so he that endured to the end, all right, the same shall be saved. So it's about the elect. We gotta, if we have that fold, what the elect gonna endure to the end no matter what. All right. So, you know, what we hope to be a part of that fold, all right. And if you're a part of the elect, you know, all you have to do is endure to the end, man. Endure hardness as a good soldier, man. All right. You know, and you can be saved, be delivered, man. Saved from what? That destruction, man. You know, a lot of people don't even know what we're trying to be saved from. All they know is about, a lot of them say they saved already. But why?
Yeah.
The day of the hour of temptation, all right, haven't even came yet. So how are you saved? All right? So this gospel, you know, which is being preached throughout the four corners of the earth, or preached throughout the world as we speak. All right? You know, because what Christianity, that been around, man. You know, this what we doing. Well, in today's time, it's perceived as a new thing. All right? The people that's on the earth right now, they never seen this, you know, what it was around in our past lives. All right? But in today's day, they never seen this being done on this magnitude or this scale. All right? These people can be oblivious to it all they want to. That's why the scriptures say, you know, they shall be willing in the day of thy power, man. Our people going to be willing in the day of thy power. Because when they get manifest, it's going to take this thing to a whole new level, man.
Damn.
Shall the end come? In the end, full come when these prophecies that we preach about come to fully. All right? So in them times right now. But just like, you know, all people on this earth, we gotta wait. You know, we just the main ones that know. All right, but hey, you know, you people gonna know. You know, then you shall know that a prophet have been among you. Once you see these prophecies come to its conclusion, then you gonna know that a prophet was among you. All right. So through the Spirit, man, we waiting for all these prophecies to come to pass. Then we waiting to see the look on your people's face. They always say that's that great aha moment. You know what I'm saying? All right. When everything we've been saying come to pass by the way of the Heavenly Father and the Son, man. You know? And that's going to be one of the greatest moments in history, man. You know? Because people look down on this truth. They look down on the men of the Lord, man. They hold the men of the Lord, which ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, they try to hold men of the Lord to, they be hypocritical with it. Try to hold us to a high standard. All right, it's like I was watching this channel on YouTube. They reacted to when the brother in Canada got into it with that Edomite, was perceived to be an Edomite. They said, "Oh, you know, you're not supposed to do. They ain't supposed to enact violence or fight." It's like, damn, you trying to make it sound like we can't defend ourselves? It's like they try to put shit on us like we not men at the end of the day. So we can be as peaceful as we can. But dude pulled a gun out on Buddy. And, you know, he defended himself. But even in that, they still try to find a way to demonize us and be like, "Oh, you ain't supposed to do that." That's why we say, to hell with you people, man. All right? We sitting here risking our lives doing this, man. We doing this for the nation, man. And y'all still scoffing that. So that's why I say to hell with them, man. And they gonna be missile food, man. All right.
Yep.
So Jake, man, they do not understand what's about to go down, but they gonna see, and they gonna feel bad, man. All right. They gonna feel sorrowful and remorseful when the Lord bring that fire, man, from them ICBMs. Even before that, when the Lord have your stomach touching your back, all right, your ass probably gonna be sick where you can't even move or run from the hell that's coming. You ain't gonna be able to run from this devil when he come down with that wrath, man. All right, but yeah, man. You know,
I don't even see our
do you all have any last remarks or closing statements?
Yeah, man, Esau done. It is evident.
Yep, man. Yeah, but with that being said, man, want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Bukar Kodash.
all right. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, of Ruwa and Teachwell, and salutations to the hopeful elect is out here preaching his truth in all honesty and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And that being said, I want to say Kwam Yasharala and the Bible Ball.
Why Bible Ball? Shalom.
All right.